Hello, friends. NXT off the air, and I have a big smile on my face because I don't know if that was the greatest NXT show of all time, but since we started the series, uh, best NXT show by far that I've watched. Just pure entertainment. Uh, Unbelievable show. Unbelievable show. I have four things that I liked. I have two things that I didn't like, but even the things that I didn't like are not, they didn't hinder the experience of the show. Just things, need to improve on, that kind of things. But four things I loved from the show. And I'm going to start with, honestly, probably right now, my favorite character in all of professional wrestling right now, Hollywood Trick Williams. Trick and A. This mother blanker is in his bag right now. Trick Williams, everything he's doing right now, he has his character on lock right now. Just the entertainment value as at an elite level. Bring it in the ring. You bring it in the ring consistently. And once you can, boy, you're going to be more than ever a major player in WWE for years to come. And listen. Yes, I was one of the ones concerned when you look at Trick, he's like, man, there's not really much else you could do in NXT. We don't really quite have a spot for you yet on the main roster. But we have this partnership for you, with TNA. You gotta be the anchor of that. So good luck. And literally, he could have crapped all over it and took it as a demotion and not done well. Or you take it in stride and become the effing leader, and all of a sudden become a pretty effing huge deal in pro wrestling. So, I loved everything about Trick. Loved it. We'll talk about his interaction with The Undertaker in a few moments. I have to acknowledge Ethan Page. Ethan Page, this to me, tonight, I know Kyle is a huge fan of Ethan Page. This to me, Ethan Page arrived. Ethan Page arrived today. I thought beforehand, he was doing great work, putting in good work, great matches and things like that, and was cutting decent above average promos, B-level promos. What we saw today, if you didn't watch it, number one, if you didn't watch it, go watch it. If you did watch it, well, we probably hope that the WWE uploads the promo again. There were bits and pieces of the promo we missed because the NXT crowd was cursing. And you can't curse on the CW. You cannot curse on the CW. You can't take any chances. I think an a-hole chant actually made it on the air. No. So, unlike AEW where wrestlers blurt out curse words just for the heck of it, the crowd does it here. And it's like, you got to be a little tricky here. But, man, I didn't even know. I didn't do my research. I didn't know Ethan Page was from Canada. I had no idea. I Googled it first thing, Canadian professional wrestler. So, Canadian-looking championship belt. And I will admit a minor critique. I thought when Santino came out, he was like, I can't stand this. First off, I was like, you're not from North America either. I think he's from Canada. I think he lives in Canada, but it's like they don't represent those values. I don't care what values you represent. You ain't here in the States, so I don't care what values. I thought Santino, when I'm sick of it, he was going to bring out a TNA wrestler. He himself is fighting, but I have a soft spot for Santino. He's fantastic. And Ethan Page in his bag. As a character, he looks like a superstar, and he keeps that mantra up. My goodness, really cool stuff. Blake Monroe wrestles like she's freaking evil. I love... yes, she recently turned heel. Yes, she has beef with Jordynne Grace. But it wasn't until I saw her in the ring tonight. Her aggressiveness, mean streak, just, I ain't nobody to mess with. And it's not even like, you know, she's very attractive. That's undeniable. But it's like, man, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just the mean streak, but like, she's not trying to look cute or trying to look hot, but she is, and she knows it. And again, it's just an evil streak. Great debut. I'm not even upset that her match, it was against Sinclair, Sinclair. I'm not even upset that it was competitive, because Sinclair actually told a great story on her side of things, how the announcers brought it up, like, it's been a pretty disappointing year for her, and this is a showcase match for her. And you know, Blake Monroe, in terms, I think you're going to hear some chatter from people saying that Blake Monroe, why was her first match a competitive match, like she should win in dominant fashion? Well, this is not, let me put it to you this way. This is not a, dominant woman coming in situation. She's the same size as a lot of those other women. She's the same size as Sinclair. And she is upping, level in terms of competition. So I like the fact that it was competitive for a hot minute, for a good chunk of time, and then Blake Monroe found a way to win the match. And then, of course, the angle with Jordynne Grace at the end. So pretty good stuff there. I still stand by what I said last week. I kind of wish they had their confrontation last week. It feels like even with Jordynne Grace and the beatdown, there's a little something missing from those two right now feuding. But again, Blake Monroe, strong performance. Back to Trick in the Undertaker's involvement. A little hot take for you. The Undertaker has, of course, the Dead Man entrance, the American Badass entrance, and the Limp Bizkit Rollin' entrance. By far, you could tell from the crowd reaction, by far, American Badass is the least over entrance song that the Undertaker has. It ain't my favorite. Rollin' is by far, that's, if the Undertaker's not going to be classic, slow walking to the ring, Dead Man, Rollin' makes sense. But he ain't rolling out there in a motorcycle. That's the only time he came out there with Limp Bizkit. But that song is 3,000 times better than American Badass Kid Rock. Sorry. Not sorry. It's the truth. Listen to the fans. They're telling you. Listen to the people. I like what the Undertaker said. Man, Trick Williams again selling the choke slam. It's good stuff. Good television. Undertaker, of course, coming out, the OG, like, oh, I don't respect, you got bling, blah, blah, blah. I don't respect you. I respect the guy who used to be, classic, typical Legends, babyface, coach, do it the right way, blah, blah, blah. What I loved was at the very end of the show, Je'vone Evans taking notes, obviously young gun, trying to make an impression in this business. Undertaker came up to him. It's like, you want some advice? He's like, go after the biggest dog in the yard. Now, does that mean Trick Williams, TNA champ, or Obafemi, NXT champion? And what's the babyface heel dynamic with that if that were to materialize? We'll see. Very intrigued. Je'vone Evans, by the way, great to see him all over the show. Young gun, taking in advice. Je'vone Evans is one of those guys. In the ring, he's fantastic. In front of the camera talking, he's phenomenal. He needs to be on television some way, some form, every single week. And can't wait because he's going to be next in line for a championship. It'll probably be the NXT championship, considering that the triple threat pretty much closed the door on Briggs and Yoshi involvement with Obafemi. They're going to feud with each other. That blow off will happen either on an NXT episode or Heat Wave. All right. So as I mentioned before, I had a lot of things I liked. This was by far, since we've started this reaction series, my favorite NXT episode since we started this series almost a couple months back. But I do have two things that I didn't like. I kind of spoiled one of them already, but let me start with this. Lash Legend, thought her promo was, I thought it was a bit rough. It took a long time for her to arrive to her point. By the way, this is coming from me, who I have been notorious for taking all day to get to my points. So, yes, this is very hypocritical from one roundabout guy to another. I don't know if part of it was that she wasn't really given much to work with, but where I do blame the performer in Lash is the delivery, right? It's the, I've been here for a while. I'm the bougie badass. I deserve an opportunity. At both title, everybody's talking about me, and I did this at Evolution. It didn't seem natural to me listening to her. So that aspect has to improve with Lash. Jada Parker seemed more natural on the microphone, even though, again, she wasn't given much. But I thought the more interesting thing about that whole segment and throughout the show was Fatal Influence and the tension going on there. JC Jane saying, I did this all by myself, and her partners are like, really? And then the last thing before we wrap, and again, remember, W Energy, get your energy drinks, no sugar, no artificial flavors, W.gg, and type in the promo code SHWP10 to get 10% off of your order. I kind of mentioned this before, and this speech made me for myself because I might have joined in. Look, listen, you're going to a wrestling show that's televised, especially NXT, because NXT airs on the CW. The CW airs on an over-the-air television network. In fact, the program here in Cleveland that followed NXT was 19 News. Was the local news. So Resident Evil is not following wrestling here. The local news is following and talking about the heat wave. We can't be cursing. You're in a crowd. I understand you're enjoying the show, and it's great. Us at home, we need to enjoy the show too. Ethan Page, in all intents and purposes of our show, probably lost out on promo of the week because we didn't hear a quarter of the promo because y'all MFers wanted to curse. You guys can't curse. We can't curse at these shows because this is not Netflix where, we'll edit it later. This is not Peacock. The CW is FCC rules. If there's a hint of cursing, it has to be blurted out. Silencer can't be acknowledged. Can't even be teased. So yeah, there were various moments of NXT where it was stone silence. And unfortunately, a good chunk of that happened during promos. And in a small crowd, individual voices are picked up a lot more than in a basketball arena. So, again, you're seeing the passion of the fans. And again, this might be a speech to myself because I might have been one of those who would have joined in and start cursing things out. But we don't get to enjoy the product at home. We don't get to hear everything that Ethan Page had to say. And WWE's going to probably have to re-upload that segment. So, all right, that's it for me. Kyle, check out his reacts. And then tomorrow we will both be on after AEW Dynamite.